Hello everyone, my name's Nick Pattison,
And I'm Lauren Sutherland.
and we are team teachers at Tully Ellen Primary School in Melbourne, Australia.
We have 3 really exciting projects to show you today.
We really hope you enjoy the workshop and that you take a lot of valuable lessons from the projects that we shared today. Now let's get started.
Sutherland is an experienced teacher who has recently begun a STEM specialist role at Tully Ellen Primary School in Melbourne, Australia. Her passion and background in environmental education has allowed her to apply these same principles in STEM. Currently, she is working on a variety of projects, including designing a future school in collaboration with students in Brazil. Nick Pattison is originally from Canada and has been teaching STEM for the last 10 years in New Zealand. He recently moved to Melbourne in 2020 to teach at Tully Ellen Primary School. He is currently completing his Doctorate of Education, investigating the application of virtual reality in education settings.
Hello everyone, it's me again. For our first project, we'd like to showcase how our students collaborated with another primary school in Sao Paulo, Brazil, in order to design and create a future school. By future school, we mean a school that meets some of the UN sustainability goals of reducing waste and being environmentally friendly. What we had the students specifically do was collaborate within one environment, which is one class or one room, where they use 3D modeling in order to create some designs of a workspace in order to create a school. From these schools, they then shared them, they gave feedback, and further made improvements. The main goal we wanted to show was how you could use technology to make a global connection or collaboration, and specifically how this could be used with young students in order to promote key competencies and skills for the future. Furthermore, we then are going to take these actual classes and to put them into virtual reality. But the core function of this project was actually the collaboration. And here the students not only learned 3D modeling skills and design, but they learned how to get feedback, how to critique, and how to work together. We're very proud of this project, and now let's show you how it started. For this project, we thought it was very important that it was authentic. So following recent research by Rule in 2006, we wanted to include all 4 themes that supported authentic learning. And they are an activity that involves real-world problems and that mimics the work of professionals. The activity involves presentation of findings to audience beyond the classrooms. 2, use of open-ended inquiry, thinking skills, and metacognition. 3, students engage in discourse and social learning in a community of learners. 4, students direct their own learning in this project.
Hello, my name is Sean. I am from Tully Ellen Primary School, Melbourne, Australia, and I would like to show you my future school design of Tinkercad. So, what I have done here is I've kept this box, which represents a classroom, and these are over here. This is the thing where when it's like a spring, when the water levels rise, this also rises, and when it gets down, it also goes down. It's fully powered by electricity, so it's environmentally friendly. This is like a windmill. When the wind comes, it generates electricity. Just so no one gets hurt, there's these trampolines attached to the top of them so no one gets hurt. And I would like to pass it on to my friend Vinay.
Vanakkam, my name is Vinay and I would like to show you my Tinkercad school. So it's on the water, so most things like bushfires and can't reach it. And these are the classrooms, and they're elevated, so if any water gets on the school, the students and teachers will be safe. And this dome here, it's how the school gets its internet, and is powered by this turbine. electricity source is this turbine, which takes the water current and turn it into electricity.
Beautiful.
This is a really fun project, but we would like you to design and build a futuristic school with us.
As you can see from the videos, the students were able to go in and make 3D models of schools. What's really cool about this project is that it was simple and it didn't take a lot of time for them to create these detailed models. They were able to modify them, move around, and give a clear description of what they were hoping to achieve. Now, the science concepts behind them take much longer to unpack, but this was a really strong base from which the students were able to launch their inquiries. Furthermore, they learned 3D modeling skills. This is directly related to AutoCAD and future careers. But the real purpose was to use the tool to create something authentic. And what we wanted was authentic collaboration with other students. So this allowed us to do peer-to-peer learning across the globe using this program, which was really, really interesting, but for the students, highly engaging. It not only gave them a real life purpose as they realized that climate change is affecting the weather and the patterns and how our schools are built or architecture in general, it allowed them to collaborate with their peers internationally. So as they were waiting for feedback or able to critique it, they found this highly engaging. And this is a real core component of any learning, but we found that this tool helped foster it and create it. And this is why we think this project really highlights how you can use international collaborations and simple tools to create highly engaging and highly effective learning opportunities. One of the major successes of this project is that the students were able to collaborate globally across very large time zone differences. They did this by creating counts which were then shared with each other. Tinkercad was very good in that the students can create a link that is live, and then the next group of students are able to take that file and to modify it. They can also download it if they want directly to their computer, which can also be laser cut or 3D printed. In this case, we had the students go in and make the world and then videotape it. The other students were then able to go in and watch the video, but as well they could go in and look at the file and modify it. This created two levels with which the students could collaborate, which is extremely powerful. Remembering the 4 themes that supported authentic learning, we would like for you to pause the video now and have a short reflection with your colleagues to see, did this project meet all 4 of the themes, or 1, or 2, or 3, or 4, and why you think that? Now it's your turn to give Tinkercad a go. We found the program to be really fun, and we've shared 2 videos with you. The very first one is the intro to Tinkercad, and this is an actual video that we showed our students. The second one is how to create a tree in Tinkercad. Although this seems very simple, this actual activity allows a huge amount of creativity and flexibility while teaching the simple skills of Tinkercad, which are how to modify a shape, how to move it, and how to adjust it at height. We hope you enjoy it, and remember, if you finish early, you can add details or have a little fun with it. This is the exact tool that we use to create future schools, but it can be as simple as creating a tree or a river. Have lots of fun. Video tutorials with Mr. Pattison.
And Miss Sutherland.
Google. In Google, you will type Tinkercad and enter. This will bring you up to this option. Press the first one. Sometimes it takes a second to load. If it's not loading on your computer, just try to close it and open it up again. For you, you will go into sign in. You can use your school email, which you would press here, or if you're using your code, you would go into here. I'm gonna go in here because I don't have a code. I'm not that special. Sometimes it takes a moment to load. It's gonna ask me which email I want to use. I have to use my school one. I'm gonna have to blur those out so you guys aren't hitting me up with emails. Once you're in, you can create your own new design, which is right here. You can see my mouse. Or if you want to learn, you go to learn. In here, it will teach you some of the basics, like where to place it, how to view it, how to move it, rotate it, and move it up and down. This is what we would like you to try this week, is to learn some of the basics. Now remember, this is a very hard program and you have only started to use it. So have fun, do your best, and don't worry if you make a mistake. If you need help with taking a screenshot, Miss Sutherland has you sorted with that. Have a wonderful day, have fun.
Video tutorials with Mr. Pattison.
And Miss Sutherland.
And this week you're trying to make a tree in Tinkercad. Now, before we start, keep in mind this is a hard program and it's going to take you a while to get used to it. You won't just be able to kind of hop in. So all of these different challenges, you want to try and extend it as far as you can. So if you find it too easy, add details and think how creative you can be. So to start off with, we're going to go to create new design, the blue button, and we're going to press that. Now this allows you to start from scratch or a new project. Now this blue little sheet is your work plane, and think of it as your floor, but you can go underneath it and I'll show it to you later. So first go to the right, grab the cylinder, and I want you to drag it over onto your work plane. When it's here, before you do anything, we're going to come back up here and we're going to change a different color because we're making a tree and we're going to make it brown. So from there, you can make, this will be the trunk, you can make it bigger, smaller, play around and start to understand how this all works. So I'm gonna make mine a little bit taller. Now, all you need to do is to put a top on. It can be any shape. I'm gonna take this sphere. So I'm gonna bring the sphere here. I'm gonna go with the traditional tree and make mine a light green. Now, what you're going to try and do is put the sphere on top. So you take the little cone and that's how you move it up. You're gonna have to move it on top. Now that's not very big. So I'm gonna make mine longer, wider, and bigger. Now what I want you to also start to do is play around with this box so you can start to see what the different angles look like. So you can see I didn't do a really good job of making it fit. So I'm gonna make it longer. Now you'll see when I'm moving it that you can see the shadow is showing it to me. And this is the shadow here that I mean. So that's roughly there. So if you want to check it out, have a play and look around. But you want to make sure that the two objects are actually touching. Now your tree doesn't have to be perfect. Just use the colors I showed you and have a play with it. Now let's say, for example, you're like, I don't want to use that shape. You can click the top, get rid of it. If I was like, oops, I want that back, you just go back. It's a really simple program. So I'm going to get rid of the top of the tree and I'm going to use a different shape. I'm going to scroll down on the right. Ooh, this one looks pretty cool. So I'm going to bring it over. When I do, I'm going to change the color to green again. Too easy. I'm going to change it bigger. So it looks like the top of my tree. And it's this cone here. Now I'm going to move it over. It's on top. Now it looks like it's touching, but I don't really know. And see, when I start to move different angles, I can see around that it's not actually touching. There's a space in between. Looking around, where can I find the angle I can see it? I do notice that when it's moving around, I can see that it's not touching it. See if I can go a little bit higher. and there's a space in there. So I go back to the cone and I can move it down. And now they're actually together. Remember, this program is really hard, so if you're having some issues, just go back or try and find one of the tutorials. So this is the tree. I'm like, uh-oh, I don't know how to move something or make something go up or down. I'm a little bit confused. So you go to the Tinkercad button in the top left. Mine takes forever to load because my computer is old. And then you can just go to this Learn button. And if you remember when we get into there, there's a whole bunch of different lessons, how to place it, view it, move it. And so I would highly recommend you do these. And if they're too easy, then you can go to the different starters. Now remember, have lots of fun. If you can't take a screenshot, Miss Sutherland has made a beautiful video on how to do that. But what we want you to learn, more importantly than this 3D modeling, is we want you to learn how to solve your problem. So try and Google it, ask a friend, try something out, but we want you to give it your very best. If you're still having issues, then no problems. Just give Miss Sutherland and I a shout either via on the Google Classroom or you can send us an email. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, you know what?
At this moment, I'd like you to stop and to reflect on how do you think you could incorporate Tinkercad or 3D modeling within your classroom? What would it allow you to do that you couldn't traditionally do? You can do this individually or you can do this with your colleagues, but it's really important that we start to think of how we can apply this technology and these ideas within your classroom before we have a play. This should take you 2 to 3 minutes. Please pause the video as this concludes Project 1. You now have the opportunity to go into Tinkercad to follow the tutorials and to try and make your own world or trees. We hope you have fun and remember to be creative. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed.